Have you ever stopped to wonder where you end and the world begins? You're scrolling through your phone, and a song you didn't choose slips into your heart. A post you didn't ask for feels like it was written just for you. It's like the universe knows you. Or does it? Carl Rogers once said, "The self is not given, but created." In the language of humanistic psychology, the self is a process of becoming, not a static identity. It's not a fixed thing, like a name carved in stone. It's a narrative, an autobiographical self, formed through what psychologist Dan McAdams calls the narrative identity, the evolving story we tell ourselves about who we are. But here's the thing. In this world of AI, where algorithms hum behind every screen, your story isn't just yours anymore. It's being shaped, nudged, whispered into being by forces you can't quite touch. You think you're in control, don't you? I do too. We click, we like, we share, and it feels like we're choosing who we are. But when every ad seems to read your mind, when every video feels like it's speaking your language, you start to wonder, how much of this is me? Rogers saw the self as a river, always flowing, always carving new paths through the experiences we meet. Yet now, the river flows not just through life, but through digital architecture. What sociologist Sherry Turkle calls the tethered self, always connected, never alone. And what happens when someone else is shaping the riverbank? When your loves, your fears, your dreams are algorithmically anticipated. What media theorists call predictive personalization. Before you even feel them. It's not just living anymore. It's like you're being authored, not by you, but by an invisible co-writer made of code and data. I'm not saying it's all bad. There's a certain magic in how the world seems to know us. You post a picture, the likes roll in, and for a moment, you feel seen. But what did they see? A filter you picked, a moment you staged, a version of you polished to shine. Jean Baudrillard warned of the simulacrum, a copy without an original. We live in a hyper-reality where the representation becomes more real than the thing itself. Every swipe, every post is more than data. It's a performance of identity, what Irving Goffman would call our front stage self. But does it tell your story? Or is it just a sketch of you, drawn by code? Imagine walking through a city where the streets shift to match your steps. The shops show only what you'd buy. The music is your favorite playlist, looped forever. It feels like you're the center of the world, but it's a world built from your past, not your possibilities. This is the filter bubble, a term coined by Eli Pariser to describe the way algorithms trap us in echo chambers. AI doesn't chain you, it seduces you. It hands you a mirror, but it's a mirror that distorts through reinforcement. It reflects not your soul, but your history of engagement. And the hardest part? Sometimes you start to believe that's who you are. That's identity foreclosure, a term in developmental psychology for when individuals prematurely adopt an identity without exploration, often shaped by external expectations. But here's what I've learned, and maybe you've felt it too. You're not stuck. Your self isn't a profile or a feed. It's alive, fluid, always becoming. Søren Kierkegaard said, "The self is a relation which relates itself to itself." In existential psychology, this is the essence of authenticity, choosing to live in accordance with your values, not just social scripts. It's not the likes or the follows. It's the quiet moment when you decide what matters. It's the breath you take before you hit share. That's where you start to find yourself, not in the noise, but in the pause. What if you step back, just for a moment? What if you stopped pouring every thought into the machine? You wouldn't disappear. You'd grow. You'd start to feel the edges of who you are, the parts no algorithm can guess. You listen to a song no one suggested, and it breaks you open. You wander into a bookstore and pick up something random, and it changes how you see the world. These are liminal moments, in sociological terms, transitional, ambiguous spaces where transformation happens. The self isn't built by what's handed to you. It's built in the non-conforming choices, in the moments when you surprise even yourself. It's not easy, I know. Your phone buzzes, and your hand reaches before you even think. The screen lights up. It's like it's calling your name. That's not weakness. It's behavioral conditioning, a reward system borrowed from Skinner's operant conditioning. AI doesn't just know you, it expects you. It's designed to create habit loops, to make you feel like you're exploring when you're just looping back. But even in that loop, there's a way through. Not by running away, but by asking, if everything I want is chosen for me, who am I when no one's watching? That question is a spark of metacognition, thinking about your thinking. It's the start of critical consciousness, a concept from Paulo Freire, where you begin to see how systems shape perception and reclaim your agency within them. You start to notice how the algorithm tugs at your anger, your joy, your quiet doubts. You see how it amplifies what's loud and buries what's tender. Ralph Waldo Emerson said, "To be yourself in a world that is constantly trying to make you something else is the greatest accomplishment." That's not just poetic anymore. It's an act of resistance, a psychological necessity. So you try something small. You skip the next suggestion. You turn off the endless scroll. You sit with the awkward silence of not knowing what comes next, and something softens inside you. The world starts to feel wide again, not because it's different, but because you're not letting it shrink to fit your screen. Yourself, that river Rogers talked about, starts to flow toward what's real. A thought that's yours, not borrowed. A feeling that's raw, not prompted. This isn't about ditching tech. It's about techno-reflexivity, developing a mindful relationship with the systems you engage with. The algorithm can track your habits, but it can't touch your inner life. It can guess your wants, but it can't hold your wonder. The self you create lives in that space between what the world offers and what you choose. Viktor Frankl, in his logotherapy, said, "Between stimulus and response, there is a space. In that space is our power to choose our response. In our response lies our growth and our freedom. That space, that pause, is where authentic becoming begins. And when you lean into it, the world changes. Not the apps or the feeds, but the way you move through them. You start to see people differently. You notice the way a friend's voice cracks when they laugh, and it feels like a gift no algorithm could deliver. You make a choice that's yours alone, and it feels like standing taller. You start to sense the you that doesn't need to be liked to exist, the you that's enough just as you are. It's not loud or perfect. It's quiet, like a whisper only you can hear. People feel it too. Not your posts or your profile, but your presence. They sense something real, not because you're trying to shine, but because you've stopped trying to be anything at all. You're just here, alive, unfinished, and that's enough. It's not about being flawless. It's about being free. Free from the need to fit, to perform, to be predicted. This isn't a fight against AI. It's a reclamation, a promise to yourself. You still use the apps, the feeds, the tools, but they don't use you. You stop being a data point and start being a question. What do I love that no one told me to love? What do I dream when no one's watching? Those questions don't need quick answers. They're ontological invitations, calls to live deeper. The algorithm doesn't own you. It never could. It's just a mirror, showing what you've given it. Give it less, and it stops defining you. You don't need to erase your digital life. You just need to remember, yourself is created, not consumed. Every time you choose without a nudge, you shape who you are. Every time you pause before you react, you claim a piece of your freedom. The world will keep humming. The feeds will keep flowing. The AI will keep guessing. But you're not a guess. You're a narrative still unfolding, a question still breathing. Let go of the self the world hands you. Let go of the you built from likes and clicks. What's left isn't empty, it's open. You'll feel it, I promise. In the quiet of a morning without a screen. In the choice to walk a path no app could map. In the thought that rises without a prompt. Your self isn't a brand or a post. It's a heartbeat. It's not a feed, it's a feeling. And when you live from that place, the world stops feeling like a stage. It feels like a friend, waiting for you to show up. A cup of coffee becomes a moment, not a photo. A walk becomes a discovery, not a post. A doubt becomes a door, not a search. You stop needing the world to tell you who you are, because you're already here, creating yourself with every breath. The algorithm can't follow you there. It can't predict a self that's still being born. And that's not just power, it's joy. You don't need to shout it. You don't need to share it. The self you're creating doesn't need a spotlight. It's too real for that, too yours. It's not about being seen. It's about being. Not about being perfect, it's about being you. And when you live like that, the world shifts. Not because you made it, but because you stopped letting it make you. So let me ask you, just between us, if everything you love was chosen for you, what's left of who you are? The answer isn't in the question, it's in you. In the pause. In the quiet, rebellious choice to keep becoming on your own terms.